What is up, Thunder fans? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge, the Thunder post-game instant reaction live show as the Thunder fall tonight at Cleveland. The streak is over. They can start a new streak now on this East Coast road trip, but tonight aren't able to get the job done. And this game really comes down to, in my opinion, the inability to stop Cleveland in certain spots, specifically the inability from about the 147 mark to the 22nd mark where OKC just couldn't get a stop. And when they got a stop, Cleveland got about 6 chances at him. OKC could not pull down a rebound.
Yeah, the Cleveland bench tonight killed the Thunder. Max Strus, he finished with 17 points, was 5 of 6 from 3. It was the same spot too. Chris LeVert was also hitting them from that corner as well. Later on in the fourth, though, they did start to shut down, force guys that when they're getting the pass out there to have to start to drive because for a good majority of the game, it was wide open. I mean, Strus was just hitting them over and over again, and LeVert as well from that same area. Then Ty Jerome really killed the Thunder tonight. Only 12 minutes, but 6 of 7 with 15 points off the bench. Can't have that happen and expect to win. It's just hard to do when you're allowing 2 bench players to get over 15 points.
Kenny Atkinson's done a great job with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Great job.
You look at their roster. You look at their roster. It's a shock they're as good as they are. This is a team that
I disagree.
Come on, Hunter.
I think this team is like
outside of Donovan Mitchell. Who scares you on this team?
I mean, Mobley and Allen are 2. That's a really good 4-5 combo to have. I mean, Strus hits big shots. He did tonight. It's a great bench player to have. Dean Wade, really good 3-point shooter, and then Darius Garland.
Didn't even play.
What? Dean Wade did play. He starts.
I didn't see the beginning of it. He didn't play when it mattered.
21 minutes, 11 points, 3 or 4 from 3. Yeah, he played quite a bit, but I like this Cleveland team. I think this Cleveland team is going to give the Celtics a run for their money in the East. I think that's going to be a really good conference finals matchup potentially between those 2 teams. And again, that 4-5 combo would be great to see it. I know Cleveland's back in Oklahoma City, I think a week or so from now. Would be great to see a matchup between the Thunder
win that one
at full strength for both sides to have Chet, but that's not going to happen. It will not happen this season unless it's somehow a NBA Finals matchup. But I think the 4 and 5 for this Cavs is one of the best in the NBA.
I don't know if you can hear me right now. Mine's going in and out of hearing you. Mine keeps going in and out as far as hearing. Hey, yeah, they got to win the return trip. And this was a game where OKC could have used Chet big time.
Oh,
with the 2 bigs that Cleveland has. I thought Kendrick played a little too much for my liking tonight. I thought Jay Will should have played a little more. That's the only thing that I think, looking back, I would like to have seen. Again, at the end, it's the inability to rebound the basketball did the Thunder in. I don't know what the rebounding stat line was.
Let me get that for you. Thunder had 38.
It couldn't be good.
Thunder had 38. Cleveland had 41. So not that big of a drop off. I mean, these teams really were evenly matched. Like, it was a pretty even going game. I mean, at one point, threw a graphic up there of like 25 lead changes. That was about a few minutes left in the third quarter. And I mean, I believe if I did not hear that wrong from Mike Breen and Doris Burke, first game all year where both teams scored 40 points in a quarter in that third quarter. And then really before the final couple minutes, fourth quarter was complete opposite. It was all defense for that first 8 or so minutes of the quarter. I think that was with how they have promoted this game here, a lot of talk about the Thunder, something that hasn't happened a lot this year, it being a national TV game, it being on ESPN with Mike Breen on the call, both teams, 61 combined wins, only 9 losses between the two. on 2 massive win streaks, double digits, all of that. I think it was a great game. I think it lived up to all the expectations. Thunder didn't get the win, but again, I said it a few nights ago. If they can manage to come out of this 5-game stretch with only 1 loss, I think that's a good place to be in, a really good place to be in with the type of competition that they're playing right now. And at this point in time, that's still a possibility.
Yeah, and I agree with Pink Floyd. The live and die by 3 that it is. If you would have told me tonight that Donovan Mitchell would have scored 11 points or whatever he ended up with, really, I mean, he was 3 of 15 at one point. Lou Dort was absolutely locked down, put Donovan Mitchell in the torture chamber, and they still scored as many points they did. I would have been shocked. I thought OKC defensively, it wasn't near their best performance outside of Lou Dort. He was the one who really brought the heat on defense. Outside of him, they struggled tonight stopping Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland shot you're right on Mitchell, 11 points, and Cleveland shot the 3 ball well, 41%. Then also the foul trouble tonight, I think something worth mentioning for the Thunder with Hartenstein and ShaiGilgeous-Alexander having 4 fouls fairly early in that third quarter. SGA came out for pretty much the rest of the quarter from that point on to kind of get him out of that foul trouble. Then Hartenstein, you would see, usually pretty physical defensively down low, having to kind of let up at times because you can't afford that 5th foul. Then he ended up getting that 5th foul, and he definitely couldn't afford that 6th foul tonight. Would have liked to see Jalen Williams a little bit more with Hartenstein in foul trouble, especially with that 4-5 combo that the Cavs were running between Mobley and Jared Allen, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Mobley made some big shots against Hartenstein. At that point, I would like to see him lay off Allen a little bit, force him to maybe take the jumper. Allen's a really good passer. That's one of the strengths from Allen. He can dump down to Mobley. It's a different type of 2-man game than you see in a lot of the NBA, and that's why having Chet Holmgren, his length against those guys, it would prove to be something they're going to need. Now, here's the good news: you're not going to face Cleveland in the playoffs unless you're in the World Championship, going for the title. That's the only way you're going to face the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's the good news. Personally, as a Thunder fan, I think you'd much rather play Cleveland in the NBA Finals than you would Boston, just because of the experience factor.
I do think the experience matter. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Experience is going to matter, but I still think Cleveland's a really good team. If Thunder are making the NBA Finals, if they're playing Cleveland or Boston, for that matter, I think it's going to be a tough series for them to win. I think, yes, they have a better chance against Cleveland. But, again, that 4-5 duo that they have, and then Donovan Mitchell. I don't think you're going to have a series where Donovan Mitchell is finishing the game with only 11 points, going 3 of 16 from the field, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc. It's not going to happen often. No, they did that tonight, but do not think that would happen in a 7-game series if the Thunder were matched up against them.
Hey, Ferris 82, I like it when guys take charges. You have to pick your spots to do that in. Tonight, the key play, you're at a 1:37 left in the game. Thunder trail by 3, I think it was. Donovan Mitchell goes over Lou Dort. Looks like he at least holds his arm before maybe even nudging him. They get the call on the challenge. That was a massive play. I thought that could have went either way. But like Colin says, you got a team that plays double bigs like the Bucks and the Cavs without Chet. I think if they play again, you have to put J. Will in. You have to play J. Will. Here's where I'll say something about Mark Dagnall, Hunter. I don't think he does a very good job on offense, defense, specialist. Like, use your timeouts. When you're on defense, play J. Will. When you get the ball back and you want to put Wallace or someone in, go for it. But they needed J. Will in for rebounding and for his big body to bang against Allen and Mobley near the end of that game. And they chose not to do it. They chose to continue with Kaysen and who they had out there. And to me, I would have liked to have seen J. Will in that situation, exactly for what Colin said.
Casey Wallace had a really good game tonight. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc, 6 of 8 from the field, 15 points. But yes, Jay Will should have played more, especially with the foul trouble that Hartenstein was getting into midway through that third quarter. Kenrich Williams got the bulk of, but really calling it bulk is kind of silly. Only 13 minutes off the bench for him. So you would think, yes, with the 4-5, two of the better big men in the NBA going against them and playing at the same time, that you would try to match size with size. They didn't do that tonight for whatever reason. Maybe somebody asked Mark tonight.
Yeah, Sooner Freak 29. I know February 1st is something that I've seen, but I would expect mid-February for Chet Holmgren to be back. Mid-February, earlier March. That's what I specifically would.
Mid-February at the earliest, Joe. That's also the time of the All-Star break, all that. Probably, likely after the All-Star break, and maybe even a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't think they're going to rush them back, because right now, without them, they're 30-6 right now. Best record in the West. There's a bigger gap between 1 and 2 than 1 and 2 than there is between 2 and 10 for the Thunder right now. So there's really no reason to rush Chet back. I mean, yeah, they lost to the Cavs tonight. They play them again next week. But after that, they don't play them again the rest of the season unless they somehow play each other in June. So there's that. And Ferris, I think that they'd make trades. I don't think that they should. I think Sam Presti does it, though.
Yeah, there's been trade rumors out there, speculation already. They have so many options they could with picks and players, but it's going to come down to what Sam Presti wants to do. It's hard to question Sam Presti. I wouldn't mind another big just for a game like this, just to be used sparingly. It's not like you got to get a guy to come in and play all the time. Now, there's also been talks of the Cam Johnson. You get a guy like that, he's going to come in and play all the time. You get a big that can be used sparingly or in times just for playoffs, that's a little different. So it'll be interesting the next 30 days what happens there. But tonight, the Thunder not able to get it done, Hunter. And it's been a great streak. They've had massive wins in this streak. It's not like they've been beating nobody. Now, I will say Cleveland hasn't been tested that much. They proved their merit tonight, beating the OKC Thunder. And OKC's going to get them back at their place here in a week.
Yeah, Cleveland's on an 11-game win streak now, and entering tonight, all 10 of those games before tonight were won by 10-plus points. So they're on an impressive win streak of their own. I believe also franchise record, if I didn't mishear that tonight on the broadcast. So, yeah, tough loss for the Thunder, but stuff like this happens. It's a regular season, but it didn't really have the feel of a regular season game. I know they talked about it a lot. It felt almost like it wasn't because of how good these two teams are. And I think the game lived up to what everyone expected it to be, everything that ESPN and the NBA hyped it up to be leading up to this game over the last few days.
Yeah, and there you have it. The Thunder lose tonight. Oklahoma Sooners are in action right now. First home SEC game ever. Conference game. Looking good early. So get on there and watch that. But thanks for joining us here on this Thunder edition of Sooner Surge. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. You hit the like. You give us a comment. The win streak is over, so all that means is it's time to start a new one as they are on the East Coast. 3 more games left on this road trip. Hit the like, turn on your notifications, check out the fan stop. We'll see you later on the Sooner Surge Live at 9:30.